People say ITZY fell off. But did they really? The truth is a little different. The 12th of February 2019, a date that changed everything for JYP Entertainment. For years, TWICE had ruled the third generation with back-to-back hits and unstoppable success. The pressure on whoever came next was sky high. Everyone in K-pop was asking the same question. Could JYP create another group that would leave its mark? Then ITZY debuted with and the answer came fast. The song didn't play it safe. It exploded. While most rookies debuted with polished, predictable concepts, ITZY walked in with raw confidence. Became a line every teenager could shout. The sound was fierce, the choreography hit hard, and the attitude? Untouchable. From day one, they performed like they already belonged at the top. And the numbers matched the noise. 17.1 million views in 24 hours, their first music show win in just 9 days, and a rookie impact that no one could ignore. But more than the stats, ITZY brought a new kind of energy to K-pop, an anti-idol spirit inside the idol world. No cuteness, no filters, just 5 girls turning teenage confidence into power. Each member brought something distinct to the table. Yeji led with fierce precision and a laser-focused presence. Leah balanced the chaos with steady vocals and quiet confidence. Ryujin commanded every frame like it was hers. Chaeryeong turned choreography into poetry in motion. And Yuna, the youngest, carried herself with a confidence that made you forget she was still a teenager. The DALLA DALLA era set a new tone for girl groups. It was bold, unapologetic, and full of energy. Instead of preaching self-love, ITZY lived it. They came in with confidence so loud it couldn't be ignored. And from that moment, 4th Gen officially began. ITZY followed DALLA DALLA with
I see that I'm icy
in July 2019, and the momentum kept growing. The song doubled down on their signature sound, bold, confident, and full of bite. But the real explosion came with in March 2020. The shoulder dance took over TikTok overnight. Everyone was doing it. Students in their school uniforms, fans across the world, all trying that same move. It spread faster than any marketing plan could have dreamed of. ITZY had created the perfect viral moment at the perfect time. WANNABE stayed on charts for months. The song filled Korean radio playlists, music shows kept calling them back, and the numbers just kept rising. Album sales climbed, followers multiplied, and ITZY officially became one of the hottest names in K-pop. They followed up with in August 2020, keeping their winning formula alive. High energy production, sharp choreography, and confidence turned all the way up. Each comeback felt like ITZY reminding everyone why they belonged at the top. Then came
I'm the mafia.
in April 2021. The song leaned deeper into experimentation, blending genres mid-track in a way that caught some listeners off guard. Reception split. Some praised the boldness, others called it chaotic. But ITZY kept charting, kept performing, and kept dominating. By then, Ryujin had become Korea's it girl. The members were all over variety shows, magazine covers, and brand campaigns. ITZY ruled the scene. But beneath all that success, something started to shift. The formula that made them famous was also starting to box them in. Each release carried the same trademark confidence, and while fans still cheered, people began to wonder, could ITZY show something new? September 2021 brought
Let go.
and something about the energy felt different. The song still carried ITZY's signature style, confident, full of movement, built for the stage. But the momentum that once felt unstoppable started to slow. The charts looked good, just not WANNABE good. The excitement around the comeback wasn't as loud. ITZY had given everyone what they expected, and for the first time, that predictability felt like a weakness instead of a strength. Then came December 2022 with and everything shifted. The track took a bright turn away from their usual fierce sound. Instead of edgy and intense, it went playful and colorful. The change caught everyone off guard. Fans debated whether this suited them. Critics questioned the sudden shift, and the general public seemed unsure how to feel. The numbers told the same story. Sneakers did fine, but not on the level of their earlier hits. Album sales held strong, yet the viral spark that once followed every release just wasn't there. For the first time since debut, ITZY faced real questions about where their music was heading. Meanwhile, the K-pop scene around them kept evolving. IVE debuted in December 2021, radiating a new kind of confidence. Regal, elegant, and composed. aespa doubled down on their futuristic concepts, pairing experimental sounds with next-level performances. LE SSERAFIM brought their own brand of fearlessness to the scene. Suddenly, ITZY were surrounded by groups offering fresh takes on what 4th Gen could sound and look like. ITZY's 2019 sound increasingly felt like exactly that 2019. Online, the narrative shifted fast. ITZY fell off, became the lazy headline. People compared numbers, pointed to gaps, and labeled them as the group that couldn't keep up. But that wasn't the full story. ITZY still sold hundreds of thousands of albums, still packed venues, still collected wins. They hadn't lost success, they'd just lost the spark of newness. And in K-pop, where trends flip overnight, losing that spark can make it look like you've fallen off. November 2022 brought Cheshire, and ITZY tried a different approach. The song leaned more on melody than their usual explosive energy. The production felt more restrained, almost mysterious, sampling Beethoven's Für Elise to create an intriguing atmosphere. The choreography stayed sharp, but the overall vibe shifted towards something more layered and subtle. Reception once again split. Some listeners appreciated the change, seeing it as a sign of growth. Others felt it lacked the spark that once defined them. The album broke ITZY's personal first-day sales record with over 275,000 copies, proving their fanbase stayed solid. But on Korean charts, Cheshire slipped down faster than expected, leaving people wondering where the group would head next. In 2023, Cake and Bet On Me painted a similar picture. Cake brought a bright, easygoing energy, while Bet On Me returned to themes of self-belief and resilience. Both songs were solid and performed with heart, but they didn't land with the same impact as before. It felt frustrating. ITZY kept delivering quality music, yet the response never matched their effort. The issue ran deeper than song choices. K-pop had entered a phase where trends shifted faster than ever. A viral moment could make a group blow up overnight, but to keep people watching, you had to switch things up fast. For groups that started with a teen image, one question kept coming up: how do you mature your sound without losing who you are? The truth hit hard. Being first doesn't mean you'll stay on top. ITZY opened 4th Gen's door, but newer groups were now walking through it with fresh ideas and energy. The question was whether ITZY would chase trends or build something true to who they'd become in 2023 and beyond. Then came something more personal. In September 2023, Leah went on hiatus due to health concerns, specifically anxiety. The constant demand to evolve, perform, and stay relevant takes a toll, and her break quietly reflected the human side of ITZY's journey. The group carried on as 4, adjusting formations and redistributing lines. It pushed them to depend on each other in new ways, performing as ITZY while still missing one of their core members. By the end of 2023, they had delivered solid music that didn't necessarily dominate charts, but something was shifting underneath. They were learning that growth sometimes means accepting you can't stay 19 forever, even if that's what first made people love you. January 2024 opened with
Born to be, born to be, born to be,
and for the first time in a while, ITZY sounded like they knew exactly who they were. The title track
I'm untouchable.
carried quiet confidence, no need for volume or noise to make its point. The sound was polished, steady, and assured. The choreography still hit hard, but the energy came from purpose, not pressure. Each track in the album felt intentional, showing that ITZY had finally found balance between strength and self-awareness. The response felt warmer than previous comebacks. Not necessarily in massive chart numbers, but in how people talked about it. ITZY sounded comfortable in who they'd become, and that comfort translated into something more powerful than virality ever could.
Going to my head, going all out of control, 'cause I shine so bright like dynamite gold.
Then came Gold in October, marking Leah's return after a year away. The five of them back together felt right. You could see it in how they moved, how they looked at each other on stage. The performances felt tighter, more refined, like a team that had been through storms and learned how to breathe through them. But it was Imaginary Friend that truly sealed the chapter. The song flipped expectations completely. Instead of fire and noise, the song leaned into softness, a reminder that power can also come from honesty. The vocals sounded gorgeous. The lyrics spoke of comfort and warmth, and the emotion felt real. It was a side of ITZY that didn't need to prove anything anymore. Critics and fans called it one of their best songs yet, and Billboard placed it among the top K-pop tracks of 2024. Imaginary Friend became more than a comeback. It was proof that ITZY hadn't faded. They had grown. Then came June 2025 with
Girls will be, girls will be, girls will be, girls will be, girls will be.
their 10th mini album and first comeback of the year. The title track reignited ITZY's fierce energy, this time with a darker, more mature edge. Blending drum and bass with club-ready production, it felt bold, sleek, and modern. The lyrics flipped a familiar phrase on its head, turning "girls will be girls" into a confident message about women owning their strength together. The music video matched the tone perfectly, placing the members in a post-apocalyptic world as warriors reclaiming their space. It wasn't just stylish, it was cinematic, confident, and fully true to who they are. Reception around the title track stayed divided, with some calling the hook repetitive, but the album's B-sides quickly stole the spotlight. Songs like Kiss and Tell and Locked and Loaded showed how much ITZY had evolved, more refined, more grounded, and clearer about their sound. Even if they weren't chasing mainstream virality anymore, they were building something more real, music that actually represents where they are now. In November 2025, they dropped
I got tunnel vision.
and it felt like the moment they truly claimed their grown-up era. Built on a hip-hop beat layered with brass and heavy rhythm, the track carried weight and focus. The visuals were dark, sleek, and cinematic, showing a calmer and a more focused side of ITZY. This comeback showed a group that now moved with purpose, fully aware of their direction. Throughout these comebacks, ITZY proved something more valuable than chart dominance. They showed that growth can be its own kind of power. That maturity doesn't mean losing your edge. That 5 years into a career, sounding different from your debut doesn't equal failure, it means evolving. Their live performances showed just how much they had grown. Vocals were stronger, choreography sharper, and stage presence came from confidence, not the need to prove anything. Tours sold well, fans stayed loyal, and albums moved steadily. But the real achievement was ITZY's mindset. They no longer measured themselves by recreating WANNABE, instead building a lasting identity rooted in who they were now. By late 2025, Does anyone still think ITZY fell off? The narrative never made sense to begin with. They still release music, perform at the highest level, tour successfully, and have a loyal fan base. The only thing that changed was their relationship to virality and charts, and that change showed growth, not decline. ITZY started as loud, confident faces of 4th gen, kicking the door open and showing what a new generation could sound like. That legacy is untouched. What followed proved even more. They didn't chase WANNABE endlessly. They accepted that being 25 feels different from being 19, and they made music that reflected who they had become. K-pop often punishes this kind of evolution. Youth, explosive debuts, viral hits, that's what gets instant attention. But real careers need perspective, maturity, and focus. ITZY went from proving themselves to knowing themselves, choosing presence, identity, and quality over chasing trends or repetition. 5 girls who once opened 4th gen's door have now walked through it as women with 6 years of experience, growth, and self-awareness. ITZY dared to be bold. Will you?